Hi, good evening everybody. In this video, the 4 best Buffalo Sabres teams of all time, coming up. All right folks, what I'm going to do in this one is I've laid out the 4 best seasons in our history and where I rank them. I could have done 5, but the thing is these 4 really stand out, historically speaking, for this guy. You know, and it would have been like, for me, I would have been fighting who to really put as 5th. There's a bunch of teams I could have thrown in there. But what I want to do is rank them, give you the reasons why. Just a little historic video from a fan's perspective of seeing all these teams. And who I believe is the best. Historically speaking, if you're going to look at the books, who will go down as our greatest team ever up till now. Okay, so coming in at number 4, okay, I'll get my glasses on. Okay, they had 53 wins, 22 losses, 7 ties or overtimes, and 308 goals for, 242 against for a plus 66 that season. And I will be able to fill this up pretty quick, just so you know. I'm sure you all have your own favorites. The 2006-2007 Buffalo Sabres. And for those of you that are thinking back to that time and everything, some might argue that was the best team of that era. You know, some won't. It depends on the fan. But yeah, that team was special. You might recall we came out like gangbusters to start the season, because we were already angry at what just happened in 06. We were already mad, so this team in 07 really came out hard. But I found they lost their edge by the end of the season. By the end of the season, I didn't feel they were going to win the Stanley Cup. And the truth is, they're the only team on this list that I didn't feel was going to win the Stanley Cup come playoff time. You know, the other 3, I thought every one of those were going to win the Cup that year. So the 06-07 squad was a special squad. They weren't shut out once all year. It was a really special team. And it really, let's face it, folks, it's the last time that we won a playoff round, you know? So it hurts to look back at some of this, but at the same time gives you hope also, you know? And that's another thing, guys. People are complaining that I can be too optimistic. I'm an optimist. I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist. It's the way I am. I never would have got sober if I was pessimistic. I'd still be in a bar right now crying about this, you know, the 83 Sabres. All right. Number 3 on the list. They had 52 wins, 24 losses, 6 ties and overtimes. I don't want to give it away, so I say 6 ties and overtimes. 281 goals for, 239 against, for a plus 42, which is the lowest on this board. But I think I give them the nod to number 3. Come in the surprising, shocking 2005-2006 Buffalo Sabres. I did not see that season coming. Honest to God, guys. And you know, I'll tell you a story, and this is true. Before that season started, a long story short, once upon a time, my dreams would come true once upon a time. This is back in the 80s, though, and it stopped happening. It was like a curse more than a gift, but anyway. But the 05-06 team, I had a vivid dream. They were 40 seconds away from winning the Stanley Cup. We were up 3-1. We were in these jerseys, though, not the goat head. That's before I even knew these jerseys were coming back. It was against a red team. I don't remember who. It was in Buffalo. We're up 3-1, 40 seconds left, and the Sabres are winning Game 5, 4-1. I'm completely freaking out, crying, everything, going nuts like a little kid, freaking out, and then I woke up. I can't even win a cup of my dreams, folks. I can't even win it. I swear I tried to go back to sleep. I couldn't get back to sleep. I never got over that. And then this season happened right after that dream. And I thought maybe I foreseen something, you know. The That 05-06 team, folks, I'll never get over. I'll never get over not winning the cup that year. There's no other way I can put it. Without being a crybaby about it, but my God, the Sabres should have won the cup that year. Any fan with any kind of IQ will tell you that was our cup. Yes, injuries took it away from us. Okay, number 2. At 47 wins, 17 losses, 16 ties. For an 80-game schedule, I'll mark it in now. 318 goals for, 201 against, a league-leading 201 against, I might add. For a team record plus 117 goals for in the differential. Come in one of my all-time favorite Sabres teams that always will be. The 1979-80 Buffalo Sabres. That was Scotty Bowman's first year in Buffalo. And I remember, folks, it was so predictable because when he came to Buffalo, you just knew the team was going to be improved. You knew. Automatically, you just knew the Sabres were going to be a powerhouse the next year, and they were. They were. And what happened is when he came over there, first thing he worked on was the goals against. That was the first thing Scotty Bowman wanted to cut down. And we led the league here, I believe, by 33 goals, if I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I could be wrong. I think 234 was the nearest team, I believe. And we were 10 goals away from having the best offense in hockey. So we had the best plus-minus in the entire NHL. And the Philadelphia Flyers that year, guys, had 35 games in a row without a loss. 35 in a row. But then there was this young team that kept choking in the playoffs called the New York Islanders that showed up. And the theme of that season was, what is wrong with the Islanders? Because the Islanders the year before were first overall, choked in the semis. The next year, they sucked. They came out of that gate flat. They didn't look good. They were losing to crap teams. And it looked like this Islanders team was done. It looked like they were done. And then they caught fire late in the year. I believe they went 7-0-4 their last 11. Don't quote me. I could be wrong on that one, though. And they caught fire, and they ran into, and when the Sabres ran into them, I was still confident. I thought Buffalo would beat them because of past history with them in the playoffs that we're going to get them this time. They went up 3-0 on us, and we never found our way back. And when that season ended, guys, the heartbreak I felt, I still feel to this day. I never got over it, really. The first year Scotty Bowman was in Buffalo was a huge success. They looked like the team to beat. They looked like they were going to win the Stanley Cup by playoff time. We went into the playoffs. I can't remember how hot. I think we lost one of our last 14 games or something. It was crazy. The Sabres went in on a tear, and it just didn't happen in the playoffs. You know, we took out Vancouver and Ford, and we beat Chicago 4 straight, which weren't competition really. And then when we ran into the Islanders, I thought the road was paved. I wasn't ready for what happened. My God, what could have been. All right, my number 1 Buffalo Sabres team of all time, pretty much predictable, I think. I could have worked my way down, might have been a little more intriguing. In 80 games, we had 49 wins, 16 losses, and 15 ties. I can say it was ties here, because it was. 354 goals for, 240 against, for a plus 114. And folks, that year, we were tied for first overall with 113 points with the Montreal Canadiens. Well, Philadelphia finished first, 113 points. Buffalo, 113 points. The Canadiens, 113 points, finished third because of the wins. And I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the French Connection missing some time that year, the Sabres would have run away with first overall. Without a doubt in my mind, still the greatest team. Still the greatest Buffalo Sabres team ever. And I can easily say they should have won the Stanley Cup also. The 1974-75 Sabres. That was the first year we even won a playoff series. And we had that kind of season. And looking back at it in closing, guys, if I was to tell you what went wrong that year, well, what went right for Philadelphia was a guy named Bernie Perron, Nets. What went wrong for the Sabres is the French Connection missed some time that year, which cost us first overall in the end by one more point we would have got if the French Connection all would have played that year. We missed something like 30-man games of the French Connection that year. And but it wasn't something that was expected in the NHL. This was when the boom of the expansion teams were starting to make a stand against the original six. The Flyers had won the Cup the year before, and now this team called the Buffalo Sabres all of a sudden is another powerhouse. But after that, it just never happened again for the French Connection. It was a one and done, you know, and that's the hardest thing. And yeah, so in closing anyway, guys, I could tell you in my own opinion, what I think did us in though, really, if I was to look at just one thing, one right answer, I would say we matured too quickly. And that can backfire on a team because then expectations are like this after, you know? All right, guys, that's it for this one. I got a few more coming at you tonight, so get ready. See you then.